What is going on, guys? This is your boy XQ420. I want to welcome everybody back to another episode, Showtime with the Cube. My co-host, Corey Hughes. Corey,
how you doing? I'm great.
Good.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about this episode, which wasn't great.
But
I'm great.
It was okay. Good. Okay, so we're glad that you're good, guys. We appreciate everybody for listening to us. If you hadn't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe. Follow us on all the podcast platforms that we put this out on, and we appreciate all the support. So what we are jumping in today is She-Hulk, episode 5, and we're just going to go ahead and put this right here at the forefront. This may be the worst episode to date. Corey, do you agree with me on this?
Well, it's very possible. The way I kind of feel about it is this was the first episode that I watched that I just didn't even expect it to get better at all. And it didn't get better at all. But my expectation was not that it was going to. So, yes, I guess you could say it met expectation.
But it exceeded expectations as far as going nowhere, guys. Now I just want to the name of the show, the name of this episode was Mean, Green, and Straight Poured into Those Jeans. Now they need to do better with these with the title of these episodes, because they've been bad so far. Okay, I need like a one-word title. So we already know when you hear the title, you're like, this ain't gonna be that great right out the original.
Mm-hmm.
Now the initial thing that you see, the initial little blimp lets you know what the episode is about. She-Hulk discovers that Titania owns the name She-Hulk and is suing her for trademark infringement. Now, that is the premise of this episode, and that's how we kick off this particular episode with Titania stealing the name She-Hulk, trademarking the name, and then putting it on her line of cosmetics, okay? And I don't know if they actually make you beautiful or not, all right? It may be a scam. It probably is a scam. Scams work, okay? There's no doubt about it. So that's the initial start of the episode. We jump into where Jen, She-Hulk, is actually going and confronting Titania. And Corey, what'd you think about this initial few minutes, the back and forth with Titania and She-Hulk? And it was almost like a meet and greet, almost like if you go into one of these Comic Cons or whatever, people come up signing autographs. How'd you feel about this initial scene?
Well, I think the entire storyline about her infringing on this trademark it's utterly ridiculous, which will be played out throughout this episode. But I didn't like the fact that she stole She-Hulk, but she didn't steal the color. She made it pink. I didn't understand that at all.
Yeah, that made no sense. That made no sense at all.
Nope. Because if she's going to steal She-Hulk, I mean, what's going too far? Stealing She-Hulk or stealing She-Hulk and the color? So yeah. It was ridiculous. What's her face? Titania has way too much eyeshadow on. Everything about her is ridiculous. I don't even know what her superpower is, and why does she have superpowers? Do we know this?
Yeah. We don't know that. Like the show has not explained why she's quote unquote superpower. The show never explained why she busted through the courtroom and wanted to throw a bench at the jury, because it was obviously that she wasn't on trial in that particular courtroom. So we have no idea why she did that. Unless they slid that in and I missed out on it. Did I miss out on
that?
No,
I must have missed it too, because I don't remember that whatsoever.
And she just busted in the courtroom and said, "Oh yeah, I'm here and I'm ready to throw a bench on some folks." It's just like, okay, that's kind of random. And I mean, and then she gets let out, and I'm just like, so that's not a chargeable offense. I mean, I'm just trying to figure the thing out. You know what I'm saying? Destruction of property. I mean, I guess they can't throw her in jail because she is an influencer, okay? And we know we got to protect the influencers. Now, we know that, seeing how most of the youth, when you ask them what they want to do, they want to be an influencer. I don't know that with the way this writing's going, if this is writing from the youth, then they need to cut back on influence, and that's all. Because it's pretty tough initially. So we have that back and forth, Jen and Titania, and I just don't feel. I'm just trying to figure out. Well, why don't you just get into a knockdown drag out? Are we ever going to see She-Hulk like actually fight, like a true fight, like where she might be in some danger? Is that going to happen?
No, they're too busy exploiting her feminine side for her to actually get violent with anybody. So
okay. So because I'm wondering
this episode, I'll say this: we'll leave this for the end. But this whole episode, from my perspective, had one purpose and one purpose only, and it had nothing to do with the She-Hulk. So you probably know what I'm talking about, and that was be revealed by the end of the show.
Yeah, that last tirade with her and that other lawyer, and you're like, okay, I got you. I understand what this is about. Oh, without a doubt. So, Jennifer and Titania, they exchange words. Jennifer throws a temper tantrum. She didn't walk in as the She-Hulk. She walked in as Jennifer. Throws a little bit of a temper tantrum. They leave, okay? They leave. Nothing gets accomplished there at that point in time. And then we switch over to Pug, okay? We switch over to Pug. And that's the lawyer who was originally doing the trial for Dennis when he thought he was dating Megan Thee Stallion, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And does something seem off about Pug this episode? Because the previous episode, he seemed serious. This episode, he seemed like a totally different dude. Like, he was just like, yeah, man, I like shoes. And I'm just, like, he just seemed like, I'm like, is this the same dude that I seen the previous, a couple episodes ago who was,
Well, I didn't notice that, but that can be explained just by an inconsistency in writing.
Okay.
Just poor writing skills.
I don't, okay. Well, I was thinking maybe is it that, or is it, or is somebody else there and it's not Pug? Is it maybe a Skrull? I mean, if it told me it was a Skrull or something like that, we got the Secret Invasion coming. So, I mean, if that was the case, I'd be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? They don't know how Pug acts. You know what I'm saying? So we understand that's coming, but I'm just like, it just kind of threw me off because all of a sudden he's asking Nikki, which is Jennifer's friend,
assistant,
to go, assistant and friend. Well, I guess they're friends, but to go and stand in line with him so he can buy 2 pair of shoes. I'm just like, man, but I'm like, well, where are you taking me here? Okay, and then Nikki asked him for a favor, which is getting Jennifer, She-Hulk, some new clothes. Okay, some clothes that fit. All right, because she just comes in there. It just looks like she just got the big and tall section of the men's section suit on. That's what it looks like. It's baggy. CGI ain't great. So we had that exchange right there. What did you think about that particular exchange? I think it was supposed to be a comical moment. I didn't get too many chuckles at that time.
You're referring to the him trying to get her to go wait in line for the sneakers. Yeah. So
yeah.
I didn't see the point. I didn't get any chuckles out of it. I couldn't tell if it was some subtle product placement for some shoe event that was going on, because it seems like they like to push things for insiders on the show, right?
Right. You're right.
So, it didn't really add anything. And I think between that and everything leading up to their meeting with this clothing maker guy was completely a waste of time. Like, they had 5 to 7 minutes of preamble that didn't have to be there.
Yeah, that's what I know. But it's just like at times during the show, you're just like, guys, can we get to something of substance? Okay, we're 5 episodes in. All right, we're 5 episodes in, and I don't feel like anything's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
No, man. I've been begging for some Asgardian plumbers to return, and they haven't even done that.
Yeah, I've been begging. Now there is a one person that returns, to which I certainly hope is going to be part of this in the future, and we're going to get to him right here shortly. But of course, Pug, after that, he agrees. to take Nikki to his his hookup to get those clothes made, the bootleg superhero clothes. All right, which is I don't know. It's just it's something I don't need. All right, it's just something I don't need. Some dude housed up. You've got all this security so he can make superhero clothing. I'm just like, I mean, I just don't need this. Okay, I need. I just don't, man. And of course, they make it to this particular store. It's an actual, what is it? Dry cleaning store, I believe.
It's a right? Boba Tea.
Boba Tea. I'm sorry, Boba Tea.
So Boba Tea.
Okay. Yeah, Boba Tea. I'm sorry. Yeah,
and it was. I really enjoyed how they had to repeatedly tell the clerk that they were not cops, and that seemed to be good enough.
Yeah. Hey, look, we're not cops. Hey, just trust me, we're not cops. It's like, are you sure you're not cops? All right. And that dude he just seemed to look at him just like, oh man, we just make tea here, but that's all we got. And so, of course, the only way to I guess he's the gatekeeper. So the only way to get to my man who makes the clothing is that you got to go in the back and buy some bootleg superhero T-shirts and hats.
Yep, some bootleg swag.
Yes, with Avengers and Avengers on. I'm just like, it's like, hey, you buy some merchandise and I can get you to the man. All right. Well, I can get you to the elevator where the man will be at, and then you can try to talk to him over the speaker, and he'll let you know if he's ready to see you or not. Okay, this particular tailor. So they end up getting to the tailor. Nikki lies and says that She-Hulk is part of the Avengers, which She-Hulk should never be part of the actual Avengers ensemble. She shouldn't be in an Avengers movie. Okay, we want the movie to be taken seriously. All right. What do you think about that? Do you think She-Hulk should join the Avengers team, whatever they assemble as?
No, most certainly not. And just remember, Marvel, it's not too late for this to all be a bad dream in the car accident world. So,
man, so you still got that out. You can still.
They can erase the last episode 5 seasons from now. They can just erase the entire show.
Yeah. Oh, but that would be fantastic. Like, we made a mistake here, guys. We made a mistake. All right. So they get the consultation. All right. Nikki lies. They say, hey, he'll do a 15-minute consultation when he hears that she's a supposed Avenger, and so that piques his interest. And so they go back. It circles back to the office, and She-Hulk is meeting with Holden, and of course he says, hey, you're getting sued right now. It looks bad. If you can't win this lawsuit, then our firm looks weak. All right. So what he actually does is hires a lawyer within their actual company, Mallory Book. Of course, Mallory, she doesn't seem like she likes Jennifer at all. Okay. Mm-hmm. Of course, Mallory's a black woman. Jennifer's a white woman. I don't know if that's supposed to be some type of dynamic there. What do you think? Is it, you think there's some type of dynamic there with that? It just seems to be very.
No, I mean, I observed it, but I just didn't think that it was. It was just, par for the course. It was more of the same. Didn't really stick out as anything unusual or shocking.
Okay. All right. So Mallory, she agrees to take the case. Okay, out of professional courtesy only. All right. Professional courtesy. And she makes sure she lets her know that they are not colleagues, all right? I don't like you. I'm just doing this out of courtesy and because I was asked to. So we know that right at the gate. She says straight up that they're going to countersue, all right? Countersue for name recognition, says that, she's been using this name in the past. The public have put forward that this is the name for Jennifer now, She-Hulk, and that is the basis of their actual case. So it goes through that. All right. She tells Jen, she said, hey, look, this is Mallory. Hey, look, you need some better clothes because you look like ass. All right, pretty much. I said, you need to look like me. You need to look better. That's pretty much what she's saying. She's pretty much telling Jennifer, I'm hotter than you. I mean, that's pretty much what the feel I was getting from that. And you're
telling her that she, and she dressed like a grandma or something like that,
Yeah.
So, but I didn't see much of an improvement in any clothing that she bought. So I don't know why. Like they bring up these little points that just are seemingly irrelevant.
To the overall show, it's like. so here's what we go from, guys. Okay, we go from the 4th episode with She-Hulk, Jennifer Walters worrying about getting dick down. Okay, we go from that worrying about her getting her one night stand beat down, to the episode 5 of her getting shit talked to her about her clothes and her, getting sued for the trademark, or her Calvin suing for the trademark. And it's just like, I just really wish that at some point in time, okay, in one of these episodes, that somebody gives me some type of fight scene where Jennifer Walters is in some type of danger. That's what I'm looking for. All right. I mean, are you looking for something similar to that, Corey?
I'm looking for anything, really, like that doesn't involve her being a Hulk in the courtroom, which still doesn't make any sense to me. I still don't understand why she's the Hulk when she goes to work. It doesn't make sense. It will not make sense. She should only Hulk out when she needs to Hulk the fuck out. That I would think is common sense, right? What happened to, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry? Like, the old school Hulk shit was the bomb. Did you ever watch that back in the day with Lou Ferrigno?
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what the issue is? I think Marvel has no clue what to do with the Hulk character at all. Like, they are completely lost. I think that's why they made Bruce Smart Hulk, so they could use him more, because they don't have a grasp of what to exactly do with the Hulk. And so that's why I think the She-Hulk is just way out there. She just walk around as She-Hulk. She doesn't really seem imposing, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's scared of her. It's just like, when Bruce turned into Hulk, well, folks would cower in fear. You know what I'm saying? This dude, he start chunking shit. It's like, man, this dude right here, he'd mess you up. Jennifer Walters is just transformed, and she's just like, oh, hey, how you doing? I'm going to go shake my ass with Megan Thee Stallion. It's just like, I said, you just turned into a big green giant that supposedly can beat the shit. And I don't know if her powers is the same. The more she gets damaged or hurt in a fight, the stronger she becomes. The more enraged she becomes. I got no clue.
Right, we don't know anything about her as She-Hulk. And here's another thing: like, they're not doing a good job of building her up as a strong character, either as She-Hulk or in human form. Right. She comes off as weak and kind of groveling in both forms, right? Definitely, clearly indecisive, clearly unhappy with her life, doesn't know what she wants out of life, doesn't know what to do with these powers. She is, a walking complex. That's it. Like, I don't know what they're trying to do with this character. There needs to be very quickly something to make us, well, besides make us want to tune in next season, they have to make us give a shit about her as a character, and we just don't yet.
Yeah, and believe that she's an actual hero. Yeah, I mean, like, this is a superhero TV show, but that she doesn't seem very heroic.
Right, we're supposed to cheer for her at some point, right? Like, that's the point of the show, and it's just not even close. It's not even close.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I mean, you're spot on with that. So they get back to the courtroom. Okay, they go through this whole rigmarole. Titania has got her products up there on the actual desk. I don't know if she's trying to sell them out there in the courtroom. I mean, that's what I'm guessing. I mean, she's got all the products up there. I think one of her products was like Booty Pump. I mean, it's like, I mean, what? I'm like, hold on a second now. It's just like some liquor where you just rub it on your ass and it gives you some plumpness. Does it knock out the cellulite? I mean, that's what we want to know. You know, that was the real mystery of this episode. But because it put it at the end credits as well in a when they're doing the drawings, which I guess that's supposed to give you some innuendo. But it had the booty pump up there. So we really want to know more about this booty pump, okay? And what it actually does for the ladies, and if it's available for the men as well. I mean, some men might want the booty pump. But yeah, so they go through that whole spiel. Mallory is going back and forth with Titania's lawyer. And of course they show one of the clips where She-Hulk's like, well, I don't want to be She-Hulk. I don't like the name. You know what I'm saying? And so they proceed off of that to where it's like, okay, we're in trouble. The judge allows her to continue the countersuit, and they're going to convene later. But right then and there, their defense is pretty bad. And here's what I'm saying. These are supposed to be like smart lawyers, okay? These are supposed to be smart people. Jennifer's supposed to be a smart person. You figured with her expertise in law that she would be able to handle this with ease. But, you know, once again, they just they make her seem like she kind of doesn't know what she's doing. What do you think, Corey?
No, I completely agree. You know, I'm not even going to get into any criticisms on how realistic these legal proceedings were, because they weren't. So the entire idea of her using She-Hulk for her products because she beat them to the trademark game it's ridiculous on its face and would be obviously thrown out of court instantly, which is what ends up happening in this fictional court case. And that happens because it is obvious that She-Hulk is She-Hulk, and that name was created somewhat organically, right? Sort of from the community, and whether she liked it or not, she was stuck with it, right? So any attempt of trademarking that would be instantly kicked, just like it was in the show. But that really just tells me it didn't have to happen anyway. It's a completely disposable episode that did nothing to develop anything new with the character, with her arch nemesis, whomever that is. You know, we're still waiting to find out who hired the Asgardian plumbers. Like, there's so many things. They're treating this like they got 20 episodes to tell a story. They don't. You know?
It's like, we got 8 seasons of this or something like that. It's like, bud, no, you don't. I mean, this might be the only season you have, okay? This might be the one and only. Now, they recess from court, okay? And She-Hulk ends up going back to the tailor, which his name is Luke Jacobson. All right. Immediately, and I think they're pretty close to what I would see as one of these uppity, high market tailors. I think they did a good job as far as the way he would act and perceive things. What'd you think about the tailor himself? Obviously,
yeah, he was fine. I mean, they had to stick their token gay dude in there. So why not with the tailor? But no, it was fine. It fit the role.
Yeah, he seems spot on tailors that we've seen in the past, how they've been portrayed in movies. So he seems spot on with one of these high end tailors. How he'd be kind of snappy with things. Hey, you grab this, you grab that. Grab me a piece of cloth, and so that seemed right on point. So I was like, okay, so y'all did a good job casting the tailor. The tailor seems to be on point with the way he is approaching She-Hulk. But once again, it's something that I didn't really need her getting some clothes made for. Now I'm assuming that he's going to end up making. I'm assuming the traditional She-Hulk outfit, which is kind of like that spandex one piece. Isn't that a traditional She-Hulk outfit? Spandex one piece? Is she going to walk around in that?
It was green and white, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember much else about it. I used to have a She-Hulk action figure from like 20 years ago.
Yeah. So I believe it's Let's see. Yeah, so purple and white. Purple and
Okay.
white is what it is. Yeah. So, and it's almost like a one piece bathing suit. There's no cleavage out, but there might be butt cheeks out. So I'm not sure. I don't think she's going to go to the courtroom in that. But obviously he's going to make her a suit. He becomes initially he dismisses her because he's like, well, you're not an Avenger and all that shit, and he's not really interested in making her any clothes. But then he sees her transformation, her going from Jennifer Walters back up to She-Hulk, and he becomes interested, and so he agrees to make her a suit. Okay, now when we move from there, we move back to the actual the office where She-Hulk works, and this is where I thought, okay, maybe they're gonna give me some more on this. But we see one of her dates, Todd, who had initially asked her what would penetrate her skin. Okay, is her skin impenetrable? And then asked her if vibranium would penetrate it. I say, okay, Todd's back. Obviously, Todd has something to do with the overarching theme of whatever villain is trying to attack She-Hulk. Is that the premise that you're getting?
I didn't quite get that, but I felt the entire scene with him unnecessary because he ended up showing up again in the courtroom with all the other dates that she had, right? So I didn't really see where that fit, other than hopefully that'll be connected to something in the future, but they haven't really given us any inkling as to what. And honestly, I don't know that I really care that much.
I'm just making the safe assumption. Okay, Todd got singled out. He just happened to be in the courtroom talking to him, and he is the one date that asked about if her skin's impenetrable. Would
Right.
vibranium cut it open? So I don't know. So I'm like, okay, well, we got Todd. All right, so what's gonna happen with Todd? I'm looking for one of these like end scenes where Todd may be talking to somebody else, and trying to devise a plan or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But once again, we're not getting any of that. Okay, not getting any of that. Now, Todd suggests that they reconnect, that they link back up because they had a great date. Okay. Now, little does Todd know is that somebody already got to meet. Okay. Instead, my other man Suave, he already got to meet Todd, so you're a little far behind. But in clear Jennifer Walters' persona, she just says, "Oh yeah, we can link up again." It's just like, you didn't like the dude, so why don't you just tell him, "Nah, dude, I ain't linking up with you again." But once again, they just make her weak. She's the Hulk right now. She should be like, "No, I mean, I'm good."
Yes, they should. And then they should make her, when she's green, always very strong. And they're not even doing that. Even when she's green, I'm seeing that she's indecisive, that she's not confident. And being She-Hulk doesn't change who she is as a person.
Yeah, it just allows her to get more drunk, and she feels better about getting banged on the first night. So, I mean,
yes, that seems like it's about it.
She's like, hey, I can drink a ton, and I don't mind somebody slaying on the first night. It's like, well, hey, look, I mean, all good with me, all good on the Western Front. So later on, Jen and Nikki, they sit on the bench in front of the firm to talk about the date with Todd. All right, and that's when Jennifer, when it clicks with her, said, hey, I can use all my previous dates because I put the dating profile as She-Hulk, okay? Because she couldn't get no dates as Jennifer Walters. Well, hold on. She got the one date as Jennifer Walters where she had to pay the bill. A man then drank 3 beers on her and then said, hey, I'll catch you later. I was like, I mean, for me, that's probably the best scene so far. My man just dipped that on her on the bill.
I thought the absolute funniest thing that I actually laughed at in this entire show was when she walks into the courtroom and Titania calls her Shrek. I about fucking fell off the couch.
That is true. That was a pretty good moment.
That was goddamn funny. Like, that was the funniest moment. It was the most honest moment the show has had yet.
Yeah. It's like they said it was going to be comedy, so we were looking at a little comedy, and we hadn't got a whole lot of it. But that was a good moment right there. That was a good moment. So she brings this back to Mallory. Say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna use all my old dates. And so she brings all the dates that she had went out on to testify in the courtroom for her. Okay. And that last one, Derek, that's the one who loves getting dominated, loves getting picked up and carried around, and he smashed on the first night. Mallory asked him, if would you date She-Hulk if she was Jennifer Walters, and he gives a resounding no. All right, not my type. So I'm just like, do you usually go around and get carried around by all the women you date? I'm just trying to figure out. Is that your particular type? I mean, it's just like, okay. So she goes through that and she ends up winning the case. All right. So she wins the case. Whoop-de-doo. I didn't feel anything for that. Did you feel anything?
No.
It's like she won the
case. I felt
case.
nothing except she didn't ask for any money for the products that have already been sold. And that was pretty fucking stupid. So the one thing she should have got is she didn't ask for it, which is ridiculous. She just wanted her name back. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're right. But that's spot on, Corey. And if she was truly the smart lawyer, that's what she should have hearkened on.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Should have gotten her money.
And Mallory didn't hearken on that either. They were just happy to get a win, okay? And, of course, they speak about, Jennifer, you're a true trooper to get up here and get embarrassed in front of the courtroom by all these losers you dated. I mean, and it's the last about 5 minutes of this episode is straight up male bashing. That is what it is, okay? That's just all there is to it. It's another ending to an episode where it's the men ain't shit. Because they proceed from there, all right, to go and go to a bar, all right, her and Mallory. And what did they end up talking about? They talking about how She-Hulk can do better, and how the men can't hold a candle to who she is. And I'm just like, why do we always got to go back to this at the end of the day? It's that we got these quote-unquote strong female characters, because I guess you could technically say Mallory's a strong female character because she's a successful lawyer, and then Jennifer Walters, of course, is She-Hulk. And then we just got to go back to the men ain't shit dichotomy. I mean, what do you think about that, Corey?
Yeah, and I think at this point they're beating a dead horse. The entire show has had these anti-male themes throughout, which is fine. I never watched Sex and the City, but I'm sure that was kind of like anti-male throughout most of that too, right?
I think that was just more than being whores.
More just than being whores.
I just think that's all it was, just promiscuous women, okay? Women who got around a lot, all right? That's pretty much what that show was. I mean.
So, it's just, at this point, it's tired. And if they're going to do that, it's not being executed well. Yeah. So one criticism I heard of Marvel and the Marvel Universe and what they're doing is like, they're not picking writers and directors based on their skill, but they're picking them because of their background, right? Like, you had to have a Muslim director for Ms. Marvel, right? So there you go. You're fucking shooting yourself in the foot right there. Instead of just going getting somebody else's talent, it's a whole bunch of affirmative action hires.
Exactly. And somebody who knows the source material as well. And I think sometimes they try to divert too far away from the source material, when you need to try to, kind of lean more true. Now, I know that they've got alternate universes and stuff for these characters, but pick a particular universe you want to stick within and kind of stay, within a true spectrum of what the character is. That's what I think. But I think a whole lot of these, and I found this to be the case in Thor: Love and Thunder as well. It's just like, you're not giving me a situation where I feel like my characters are in danger.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I need from a superhero movie or TV show.
Yes, I agree with you. Thor: Love and Thunder was a great example of another movie where the plot was not strong enough for me to give a shit. Honestly, I didn't even make it through the whole thing. I got like 3/4 of the way out, and I was like, I'm going to go play some video games. I didn't even finish the damn thing. Like, I don't even care. Like, I don't care what happened in the last half hour. It could not have been enough to save the rest of the movie. So, yeah, I didn't think it was bad overall. I just didn't care, right? There was nothing gripping about it.
Right.
And when I see them have scenes with Thor where he's like got a beer gut, those are just ridiculous to me.
You're just like, man, this is dumb. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, what? And I think it has to do with the particular directors and stuff they're picking. Like was it Taika Waititi or whatever? I'm like, man, he's a bad director anyway in my eyes. He ain't really did much of note for me. Okay, if he's doing I'm not sure if he did the movie Free Guy, but that seems more of his speed. Something with like a Ryan Reynolds character in it. You know what I'm saying?
That one wasn't horrible. I mean, you had to.
Yeah, that was okay. That was okay.
Suspend disbelief, and you could get through it fine.
Yeah, but I didn't think Thor: Love and Thunder. I thought that was they didn't build the villain up enough. And of course, right here in She-Hulk, they're not building the villain up at all. Hell, we haven't even seen an inch of the villain. We hadn't seen a villain talk or anything, and that's a problem. We can't be 5 episodes, because I think this is 9 episodes. We can't be halfway through and not have an inkling of who a big bad's supposed to be.
Yep.
They haven't done this in any of the other shows, I don't think.
No. I can't think of another show that I've watched where they took so long to get to the point. And along the way, throughout the stages of character development, they're not doing a good job there either. Like, this really is just a goddamn nightmare of bad fucking writing, bad production. It's just bad. Like, forget the woke shit that everyone complained about in the beginning and that we complained about. Like, it's just bad. And that's all there is to it.
It's bad. And the only thing that we had to leave off on is that She-Hulk went back to the tailor and we seen Daredevil's helmet. That's the only thing we got. Which here's my only issue with that. Okay, that would be something that would rivet people if they didn't already know that they were already doing a new iteration of Daredevil. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If folks didn't know, that would have impact. But seeing how folks know, that scene has zero impact. It has none. At all.
Well, I think it had a little bit. Because I felt something. I felt an emotion for once during the show, right?
Okay.
When I saw that, I was like, ooh, that's neat.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my thought on it. So, yeah, I appreciated that. And maybe that was just a sign that it's a sign that that's coming soon. Like Daredevil's coming sooner than we might have thought.
Oh, that was your emotion. That was neat.
Yeah.
Man said, "Man, hey, they said that's for the first time in this particular show. I got emotional at one point. I thought it was really neat. I mean, it's just like now we do know that supposedly Daredevil's going to make a cameo in this show, if I'm correct, from what we've seen from the trailers. At one point in time, he's going to do that. I don't know. It's probably going to have something to do with the courtroom, seeing how he is, in fact, a lawyer himself as well. So I'm gonna assume this is going to have something to do with a courtroom event. I don't see how it's not, seeing how every episode is tuning you back into the courtroom, which I'm really ready to move past. I'm ready to move past the courtroom. I
don't think that's going to ever happen.
Yeah, I know.
I think we're bound to the courtroom. Yep, we're bound to the courtroom forever.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Now, this particular episode ended, and it didn't have a end credit scene. So did they run out of money for this particular one, or are they done with end credit scenes? All we had was the cartoons with the booty pump. That's all we had.
Right. I looked for one also. Didn't see it. Didn't know what to think of that because I hadn't seen one on every episode. It was just a couple episodes they had one, right?
Well, they've had one at the end of every episode. Now, whether they were most of the time, it was just like it was like one was like Jennifer carrying water, the other one was She-Hulk shaking her ass with Megan Thee Stallion. It's just stuff like that, man. It's just like okay, but this one didn't have one at the end at all. They're like, Bo, we don't even know what to put at the end of this, okay? Because this thing, man, we don't even know why we wrote this. I mean, that's just what it seemed like to me. It's like, man, this episode was so bad. They're like, man, let's not put that mess at the end of this. Let's not waste no more money, okay? Let's try to focus on episode 6. Let's see if we can get episode 6 a little bit better, okay?
So episode 6 needs to have some villain development. We need to learn something, all right? Even if we just get his stupid henchman again, we need to have some storyline that develops that includes a bad guy who will persist throughout the last couple episodes of the season. This is a must. Now, this is not optional for them. They need to get their shit together.
Yeah, you're right. Now, from what I'm looking at when I went to episode 6, what I'm seeing is actually Daredevil. So I'm seeing him in, out not in his costume, and then the photos that they're showing Daredevil out there in the street. So, and they actually look like they do show Jennifer Walters in her new outfit, which is purple and white. She's looking down in disbelief. So yeah, she's in there with looks like this one photo. She's in there with Daredevil, and she's talking to the camera. So Daredevil might be a more important piece of episode 6 than She-Hulk. So I don't know how much more of that we're going to figure out about She-Hulk, or if she can actually fight at all in episode 6. We may not get anything. People are probably more intrigued with Daredevil than She-Hulk. What do you think?
Yeah, I certainly am. Not that I'm overly interested in him. I mean, his show back in the day was good. Was it great? No. He's blind. Big fucking deal. Another affirmative action fucking character. So.
Come on, man. Man, he uses his ears to see, okay? The vibrations to see. All right. Man, that shit's original, man.
I will just fucking kick back, keep my mouth shut, and watch it and see where it goes.
It's original.
Hopefully not off a cliff.
Hey, well, at least I know he'll be fighting somebody, okay? That's at least what I know. So that wraps up episode 5, which to date is the worst episode that they've made so far. Filler is not a good enough word for what this was, okay? I know filler episodes in it, it's bad.
This gets a 1 cube.
1. That's it.
Can we give it a half? Now, we're not dealing with decimals here. We got 1 cube.
But just
the worst we could possibly give.
We just want we can't give it a 0 because they actually made the episode, so they went through and they spent money on it. So I can't quite give it a 0 because they did in fact spend money. They did show Daredevil's helmet, so that at least gives you 1 cube. But that's all we can give this. That's all we can give this because this was an absolute travesty, and they don't need to have any more episodes like this, okay? If they plan on using She-Hulk in the future for anything of substance, she needs to do something immediately to make you think that she is useful. Because right now, she is not useful, period. At all.
She wouldn't even make a good cameo in something else, so. It's pretty bad.
Not at all. So you got it straight from us, from me and Corey. 1 cube out of 10, with hopes that improvement is coming because they can't help but improve from what they gave us in this episode, which is damn near nothing. Okay, damn near nothing. So Corey, you got any final thoughts for the people out there?
Nope. I'm trying to keep hope alive. We only got 3 or 4 episodes to go.
4, so. I think 4. I think it's 9. So 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so 4 episodes left. Hopefully, 2 hours of runtime. Hopefully, within those 2 hours, there'll be a fight at some point in time.
Yeah, so to put that into perspective, movies are 2 hours long, and we get whole story arcs in movies, right? So they got 4 fucking episodes to knock this shit out. Get to work.
No doubt. So we appreciate y'all for checking us out. Showtime with the Cube. Make sure you be on the lookout. Of course, we're doing our Rings of Power. We'll be covering that this weekend. New episode comes out Friday. So we'll be checking it out, probably record on Saturday more than likely. And so we'll get that out to you guys. We got some other things coming in the works. Corey, we need to look at a couple of trailers, do a couple of trailer breakdowns. Especially with the Marvel stuff. Secret Invasion looks like it might be intriguing. No doubt about that. I watched that trailer, so it looks like it'd be really good. So we got a few trailers that we need to check out. Corey, one thing, Hulu's making a Hellraiser show. And Hellraiser is now a woman. Okay, just to let you know.
Right. So I'm a big old school fucking Hellraiser fan. I know I had all the action figures. I know all the movies, even the horrible ones. And the one thing that gives me some hope is that Clive Barker is directly involved with making this. So it's not some third generation bullshit. Now, I don't know if he fell off the fucking woke wagon or what his deal is, but the fact that they're using a woman, it's not completely offensive. Let's just see how it goes, because really that was a role that's Pinhead was a role that he moved into, right? According to the storyline. So another person could most certainly move into that same role, right? So kind of like James Bond, right? So
okay,
I can see. It's acceptable, but we have to see how the execution is.
Yeah, the execution is going to mean everything. Okay, execution is going to mean everything. But it threw me off right out the gate when I seen it. I was like, man, I know this Pinhead, but damn, it looks like a woman. It was just kind of threw me off a little bit.
Women could be rotten fucking demons too, man. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about that, but men are a little bit more ruthless, okay, as far as physical violence. But that's neither here nor there as far as physicality. So, this is going to wrap up this episode of Showtime with the Cube. Be on the lookout for some of the other stuff we're going to be bringing y'all's way. Rings of Power. We're going to get around the House of Dragon. I got a lot to catch up on that. And so we'll probably try to do a super episode on that to try to catch up on that as well, and try to come to y'all with a couple of trailer reviews. Black Adam looks good. Secret Invasion looks good. Probably need to check into Loki and some of these other projects that Marvel's got coming out. But we appreciate y'all for listening. From your boy XCube420 and my co-host Corey Hughes, we will catch y'all on the next Showtime with the Cube. Hope you have a good night. Peace out.